Hi there, it's Mare. I have a finished journal to do a flip through of. It is a romance style using a vintage book as the cover and the back. And it was falling apart, so I totally gutted it and put paper in. Before I forget, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be updated on any new videos that I do. I have a lot of new journals coming. I'm gonna be doing a lot of grungy, I think, for the next couple of months. So this one is named Katherine. It has that romance theme. It measures, let me do the measurements first, 7.5 by 5, 7.5 by 5. It has 82 pages front to back, so 41 if you're only counting the front. It has a little bit of a grunge to it. I just did very little inking. There is Tyvek in the spine, as well as this charm dangle. Mostly reds and creams and pink and white. There's some gold lace trim here. And as always, anything that I've used, that I've purchased, mostly off of Etsy shops, I will list in the description box. I used some digitals, vintage and new lace, some bling, and lots of little inks and different things to gilding polishes to make it look vintage. That has the name Katherine in it. I did some earlier like this for some, I think it's some Jane Austen journals that I filled in with glossy accents. This I left empty just in case whoever gets this wants to change the name. There is a little space in there that can be done. There's some rhinestone trim here, gold gilding polish, some metal medallions here, and a metal label with some rhinestones on each end. I love this image. I actually have her scanned for future images on some journals because I just love her face, and her hat is just beautiful. Some paper flowers here, gold trim. There is like glitter sprays and some iridescent mediums here and there, just some light colored muslin for the tie. It is chunky like most of my journals. And she really doesn't have a particular story other than I just thought of maybe her having this journal on her bedside and writing in it and adding little things to it. It's not an all over writing journal, as most of mine aren't, but you can keep little notes and little letters in specific spots. This has a ruffle pocket here, and I just put some journaling cards. I used some gold gilding, if you can see it around the edges. There's 3 of them. It has a pretty floral fabric for the inside, and this pocket here from the heart. And I just put in this little calling card, little key, gold key hanging, and different laces here. And that says romance on that label. And this has an altered paper clip hidden, so it's both sides. Have some roses on it. And I just clipped this journal card here of this pretty dress. And a copy of a vintage ball invitation, a little ticket here. And it just slips in there. And in this side, this is one of those flower seed paper, just in a heart shape with little instructions that it can be planted. A little envelope here with a card insert, maybe for a word or a quote. A lot of my pages have been reinforced by material and lace, or sometimes tapes, washi tapes, just because I do embellish heavy and it does help for stability. I've done some sewing on the edges here and there, and oh, excuse me, there we go. And here it says journal here, and I used some pretty paper from this pack. I believe it's Screech Owl, but I will, again, make sure I put that in the description box. Some sewing here, little card, and that just fits in there. Journal card. And this is a vintage 19, I think it says 33 autograph from an old autograph book. Room for some journaling there and on the page. Here, there we go, and just some stationery paper. I just thought it was super pretty. I believe this is my porch prints. I made this card here. It's got a lot of gilding polishes and a little rose there, some stitching, area for the back for writing, a little pocket here. Copy of a vintage receipt. This is for, I think it says, yeah, carriage, for carriage parts from 1889. That just flips open on the page. Another journal card here, a stick pin. I try to speed up a little bit, and some pretty trim there and creams. Here's a fabric flip, some lace trim here. Another copy of a vintage receipt, and I just made this cute little heart and outlined it with the gold gilding, the gold leafing pen. A little charm here, a little cameo charm here, and that tab. Oh, did I get it stuck? That is a little bag. Anyway, I'll get that out. It's a little bag that has a pressed rosebud in it, and look at that little mini paper clip. So cute. Some pretty lace here and a little embroidering flower, and that just flips open, and I've put a few little pages here for writing. Just love the red and cream together. A butterfly here and some flowers, and this is a quote from Katherine Moreland from Northanger Abbey. There's a couple little quotes on that paper. Little flip up with some trim here. Some more flowers. Here's the center. It has a little envelope with a pink heart and a little pink bead there. Some iridescent medium on this little bit of decoupage there. Areas for writing. This flips this way here, a little card, and flips back that way. And then that has a little metal gold rose on it and some trim. And that flips up all the way. And some trim on the ends there. And in the center. And coffee dyed paper, some more trim at angles. It's very pretty. And I made this little paper flip, just different sizes, some avocado dyed paper, some coffee dyed paper, and just some trim here. Altered this playing card here. Area for writing in the back. Made that little postcard into a tuck or a little pocket. Here's some beaded trim along the edges here. And up top is a little gold envelope. And this piece has a tag here. Some stitching here. This is a little window envelope, so you can put something in here, a little picture. This was a collage board in the back there, a piece of it. And there's some tickets, but you could put a picture in there as well. Here's a little cluster that I've included. Tuck the ticket in there, and a little folder with some more tickets and a label that can be used somewhere in the journal. And then this little piece here. I've just put paper in the back for some journaling. I believe that's a Tim Holtz. Just pretty scrapbook paper here. A journal card here. Another little cluster that I've made into a tuck. And some ruffles here with some vintage lace in the back. And another little charm. Some vintage lace on this coffee dyed paper and some washi tape here. And this clip I made with this dangle here, I'm going to output who I was just watching a channel, and I just was inspired to make some of these little bead things with some paper flowers. Put some stickles on it, and I just altered this clip with some vintage laces, little embroidery there. And I have clipped on this vintage receipt from 1928. And there's some stenciling on this glassine bag that's been stamped. A little envelope here, journal card in it, and some trim, a little butterfly. Some more of that trim on that page. And I've just made a side pocket here, a side tuck with a cluster, but that is back is a board that I made, a collage board. There's just a bookmark in here, and I made this little closure for it, or you could just slip it off the top, and just some paper that I did a pamphlet stitch on with. Just thought it went good with the journal. A butterfly here, some more of that leafing, some stitching, another signature, and there's some pretty white trim there. Little heart and key. Little C on a bulb clip, and some vintage doily, vintage lace, little embroidery there, little tuck. And this just opens for some writing. It just flips up a little bit. Made a little slender journal here, and I just slip that off. And you just open it up here. Just put some coffee dyed and avocado dyed paper and just stitch down the center. And that's the back. I'll put that on later, but that goes in that pocket. And I included here some vintage postcards. Here and here, 1912 this one says, and I just put that with a plain index card there for some writing space. And that's just a little fabric ruffle flip with some stitching down the center, and that just flips up. Another little cluster here, and this is just the envelope only, but it's vintage. It's from 1896. There we go. And that just sat in there. Let's tuck it in a little. There we go. And another part of that glassine bag. And I just put a journal card in there, and I just love the way that the lady shows through that. She has a little bit of stamping on there, just a script stamp. There's the journal card. Try to move it along. On the other side, I just made this little paper here, little notebook. This flips over, and I did some decoupage, and behind there is just a romantic letter, and I put an index card in the back for writing, this vintage lace here, and just this gold rose charm. And there is, if you can catch it, there's a little diamond dust on there to make it sparkly. This says remembering, and there's a little area here for something. But this is a pocket, and it has that diamond dust on it as well. And it flips over. There's some trim here and there. And this is just a gold clip. You can put that little red crystal on it, and that flips over. And that is a journaling card and a little tag. And that holds it in really nicely. There we go. Another, it's a vintage postcard here. I'm just going to tuck that right up in there. And this is a side pocket that I have just put in a little journaling card here. And I think this is a little envelope. Yeah, a little envelope. I'll put a little something in there as well. Tuck it in there. Great for a secret little letter. Here is an altered CD sleeve, a little picture or something can go in. I think I have it opened at the side. Yes, it's open at the side. You can fit a letter in there or a little picture, little embroidery right there, and some just shabby vintage lace, or let me see. I think that's some of the newer lace. It's got a little bit of gold shimmer to it. This is part of one of those boards that I created. Oh, I have to hurry. And just an embossed little flip over. I've put some areas there I can write in. I've just did a little inking on there, a little gilding polish on it. And it just tucks in there. And the back has another little key here, little button, paper button, and a little bling, and another card here, a little calling card, copy. And it's just a little charm, red charm, another one of those ruffle pockets, and a little envelope that I've just put some little labels in that could be used in the journal. And that is the back. Okay, this will be, well, you can check availability of this in my Etsy shop, which is Lilac Pages. I will leave that link in the description box as well as everything that I mentioned. Have a great day, guys. I am so excited to move on to my grungy stuff, and thanks for watching.